Welcome to another episode of Garden to Table with Rose, and I am Rose. Hello, it has been a while, for sure. It is April the 23rd, Wednesday morning. I'm out here before work to do hopefully a quick tour because things are changing so rapidly. I wanted to wait until I got the garden all cleaned up and looking nice. But that's not going to happen because by that time everything would have bloomed, at least all the fruit trees. So I am gardening here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Zone 6A, and we are close to our last frost date, which is about May 10th. Usually about May 1st, I just go for it and start putting stuff out. I've already planted some cool weather things out, but so many things are flowering right now that I just wanted to show you. So I'm going to try to keep this quick and run through this quickly. Here I moved a coneflower. I'm not sure which color this is. There's a ticket there, but I can't see it. But I moved a coneflower here that was down in the flower field, I call it. And then I have sweet peas planted here, which I planted here last year. These are eating sweet peas, snow peas. There's some onions in here, and I had to cover these containers because my dogs were digging in them. Most of them don't have anything planted in them yet, but I do have some onions, some extra onions I had here. But let me go inside of the little fenced area. Now my garden back here, I call it my working garden because it always looks like more like a farm as I plant things in rows back here. The planting is all along the perimeter, and that's because I have 3 huskies and I don't want them running through and jumping in my stuff. They dig occasionally in, containers or in the ground, but they really don't mess with the plants. They really don't dig them up. I think they're digging for some critters or something that they smell. But yeah, so they're pretty good. For the most part when it comes to my garden. Let me just go around the outside here and then I'll go inside. These pots I just planted yesterday. I have been working hard, I'm telling you. I had a long weekend for Easter and every day I was out here 8 hours like it was a job cleaning up this garden, and I am sore. So today we're supposed to have thunderstorms. It's supposed to be in the mid 70s, which is glorious. I don't think it's been that warm all year here. And so I'm going to rest today. But I planted potatoes in these. I do like to plant potatoes every year, even though I don't necessarily get a lot of yields because I do them in pots. But still, it's nice to have your own potatoes. I also planted rhubarb, which I've never grown before. I don't necessarily know that I really like it. I've never really had it other than sampling a pie with some mixed in there with strawberries or whatever. So I just, the roots were cheap and I picked them up at the nursery. So I got 2 roots and I put them one in each of these big pots. And then here I've just started planting some stuff. I got some beets in here. I'm planning to put ranunculus if I get any of my corms to sprout. I struggle with ranunculus corms. And every year I try because that's my second favorite flower after Lysianthus, but it never works. I do have some cool weather things growing here. As you can see, I got some cabbages and bok choys and spinach and dill and cilantro and all that good stuff. There's the other rhubarb. This row here, I planted a bunch of tulips, which are supposed to be perennializing. I just planted things in the fall and dug this little strip up. And then in front of it, you probably can't see it, but there are onions. I got a bunch of little onion plants that I then just put in the front because the onions will take until well into summer to be big, and in the meantime the tulips will die back. So the tulips I've just started harvesting. The first batch of them were ready right before Easter. So I've harvested a few dozen. Unfortunately, they all seem to be coming due at about the same time. I thought I got different varieties, but apparently not. They also are not as tall. These are yellows. Most of these, they're not as tall as I expected them to, or as the package said they would be when I ordered them. And I don't know if that's the weather or what. something's going on, because even the ones that I planted last year to perennialize, which would be all these over here, they are at least growing slower, so they have a chance to get taller, but they're short. Yeah, everything's kind of short, so I don't know what's going on there. We'll come back to this in that little section over there by the shed, but I do want to look at the trees for a minute because they are leafing out. I did not even have a chance to spray my first round of horticultural oil and copper fungicide, and so I think I may wait until after they bloom. I usually, the first spray is like, you know, early spring, late winter, and then I wait till after the flowers are gone and then I spray again. So I'll probably do my first spraying then, because I don't want to mess with the flowers. I don't want to deter the pollinators in any way. But anyway, this is why I was so excited and decided to do this video, because when I looked out my window this morning, I saw this plum tree flowering. This plum tree has never flowered. This is the first year. I'm so excited. Look at this. I may actually have plums. Now, for those of you who don't know, and this one even is flowering. It has buds and it's flowering. This is a plum as well. For those of you who don't know, my garden, the whole thing, is relatively new. I've been working on it for, I don't know, 5 years, maybe. So these trees are all under 5 years old, and each year I've added a few more. And so I haven't gotten a lot of fruit. This is a nectarine tree. I think last year I got 2 nectarines. These are pussy willows, which I've already harvested the catkins. They've gone over now, and I dried them, and then you can use them in flower arrangements. So all of my trees are leafed out. These are all fruit trees, from apples. I got cherries back here. This is a pearl bush. This is just decorative, and it has these beautiful white flowers. It's still pretty short. It's only about 4 feet now, 3 feet, but it'll get taller. And then I have pruned everything, at least, and I did my first major weeding. It's time to do my second weeding back here before I put down preen, but I did the first one, so it's not too bad. But these are hydrangeas, limelight prime, this whole row. I think I lost 1. I planted 8 and I ended up with 7. But as you can see, they're getting taller. They're up to the mid fence, so they're at least 3 feet tall. Yeah, those are beautiful when they bloom. Pinks and blushes and whites. I mean, they just turn colors over the season. So this is another cherry tree here. And this is a forsythia, which is beautiful. I just planted that, I think, in the fall. And I think that's dogwood right there. Okay, so yeah, I'm very excited about that. And let's see, I'll start over here in this little section. Now this section over here by the shed, these 2 little patches on either side of the shed don't get much water, because I rarely come all the way back here to water. This is the farthest point away from my spigot. And it's mostly shade over here because of the shed, because of these people's trees when they leaf out. It's a lot of shade over here. So what I did was put things that just kind of don't need a lot of water and do their own thing. That would be sedum. I don't mind it too dry. So I got a lot of sedum here, which I also use as a cut flower, and a lot of alliums. That's what you see here. There is 1 hydrangea there that has buds on it. And then I just got this little conifer, which is beautiful. I got 2 of these, and they don't get too tall. They're supposed to be more on the, I don't know, 6 to 8 foot range. And they're just beautiful, the structure of them. And that one is an evergreen, so I need more evergreens because it looks skeletal in my garden in the winter. There's 1 peony left in here that I missed when I moved them all out, so I leave it there because it seems to be happy. Here's one of the fig trees. Let's pray for figs this year. I do not know, they always look completely dead. It'll start pushing stuff from the bottom But from what I've read, you should only have one trunk, really, one main trunk on a fig tree. And so I usually cut all the other away. There were crocuses back here that have gone over now. That's why you see this grassy looking foliage. And now we can go in this section. Oh, and my little tree. I'm switching over, I know, I'm sorry. This is my little arborvitae border that I put in to hide this area where I store all my equipment. And so my idea is that these will get their full size, 8 feet, whatever, and it'll be like a barrier, which will be cool. Now these things I got in little bitty 3-inch pots. I mean, and most of them died. I mean, I got a big pack of them. I don't even know how many I had, like 20 some of them. Most of them died, but a few survived. And so I have enough for my border. And there's a few in the front as well. Okay, let's go in this side because I did say I was going to try to do this quickly. All right, more alliums, these and tulips, and lots of tulips back here. I planted the tulips in clusters, it appears. I don't even remember what I planted where, but a bunch of alliums are back here too. Some little kind of like snowdrops and muscari and little things like that that already bloomed out. I also have columbine back here. This is where I have a lot of lilies, so you can see the beginnings of them coming up. There's a lot of lilies back here and they get really tall. I do still have to fix my window box. I did buy some brackets, so unfortunately the only thing holding those window boxes on were 2 screws on each side that go straight through the wall into the inside of the shed, and that was not enough because when you put dirt in it, even though they're small, it's still weight, and then snow on it. So I got these little brackets, these little kind of L-shaped brackets that I'm gonna try to put on the side of each one once I mount that one back and give it some extra stability. Hopefully that works. Anyway, that's a columbine that comes back every year. This is a privet, and it is a beautiful yellow green color. This is like the actual color of it. Isn't that beautiful? I really like that chartreusey color, so I'm looking forward to that. But you know, this is my cut flower field number 2. Maybe I should just call this the tulip field because that's mostly what's here. There's a lot of alliums mixed in there too, but it's mostly tulips. I love tulips in the spring. It's one of the few things that blooms here. I have a lot of peonies too, but they have not really started giving me much yet where I can cut on them. Maybe this year. I don't know. But yeah, tulips and daffodils are like the only thing I really have in the cooler months. Okay, so I have a lot of herbs here that come back every year. You know, chives, green onions, also a lot of onions that I planted, and garlic. More tulips here because I had a lot of tulips. And this is a sugar tip rose of Sharon, which is all budded up. This is a cherry tree, which has never given me any cherries, but maybe this year. I don't know. Is it flowering? It looks like it's gonna flower, or it's starting to flower. I don't know if you can see that even. But those look like flowers to me. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. And there's a little bit of garlic. Not much. Most of it died. Actually, I probably shouldn't have planted it in there. I was planting it in here thinking it'd be protected over the winter instead of in the ground, which is where I usually plant it. And most of it died off. There's just like a few little stalks that survived, so I'm not happy about that because I usually like to grow a lot of garlic. It stores well for me, so I usually have garlic like all winter. Okay, blueberries. I love blueberries. That's probably my favorite berry. Yeah, it's my favorite berry. And so I decided to make this a whole row of blueberries because I pulled out grapes. I had grapes here. I had a lot of grapes when this started. This was all grape. It's a grape arbor. The grapes didn't do well for me. I think it's too humid in my yard, in my zone. I don't know, but definitely in my yard. And so they just seem to be getting spots and stuff on the leaves all the time, and they didn't get very big. So I took out all the grapes, and instead I have blueberries. You can't see them. They're so small. I just planted them. I planted most of them in the fall, and then I just planted a couple more towards the end. But this is a whole row of blueberry bushes, so there's at least, I don't know, 8 here. And then I'll interplant like some kind of annual in between, just to help suppress weeds and to give me a little bit more growing space. This second row has hardly nothing in it. This is where I plant annuals. In this row, usually zinnias go here, because I can tie them to this trellis when they get tall enough. These are some, I believe, black-eyed Susans. At least some of them are, that keep coming back. And I don't know what this is, really. Something that came back. And let's see. The first row, I'm not doing the best filming here. I'm doing more talking than filming. Okay, this first row is all my berries. It's mostly blackberries, thornless, but then I have a couple that don't come in thornless, so I have them here because they're unique. I have a Marionberry and I think it's the Loganberry, that or Tayberry, one of those kind of berries that doesn't come thornless. So there are 2 with thorns, that one and that one, but all the rest of these berries are thornless. I pulled out everything I could with thorns because I got so sick of getting stuck. That included the raspberries. I took all of those out. And also with the raspberries, they pop up from the ground everywhere. I mean, blackberries will do that too, but raspberries are even worse. Like literally 8 feet away from where you planted your raspberries, they'll start popping up from the ground, and you're constantly chasing these runners or whatever they are. So I got rid of those. I have some tiny miniature ones now. This is another hydrangea. These are Incredibles. I have a pink one and a white one here. So we'll see what they do. And also my they look dead, but they're not. As you can see, they're actually budding up, my blackberries. And then here, I call this my cut flower field, because this is where I grow most of the cut flowers in rows, just like, you know, production type. So I have a bunch of little starts here that I put out that you can barely see. Some things came back from last year or reseeded. I do have a lot of bachelor's buttons coming up. Stock is in here. Columbine. What else? There's one that I grow a lot of, and I'm blanking on the name of it. But there's one that I grow every year, and I tend to grow a lot of it because it lasts for a very long time in the vase. And I can't think of it to save my life right now. But anywho, there are some perennials mixed in here too. I do have some asters over in here. These violas just keep popping up, so I leave them because they're cute. Asters in here. There may be another coneflower in here. There's some lavender in here. Right there. It's lavender. I think I grew that from seed. And then I had mums on this outer section last year, and we'll see if any of those come back. Sometimes they do for me. Lady's mantle. It looks like the third one, I had 3. It looks like the third one is dead. There's nothing going on, but 2 have come back. So I'm not happy about that because I really do like the lady's mantle. And it makes a good cut flower too. This is an old delphinium, I think, that's been here forever. There might be some larkspur in here too. Buplorum has reseeded everywhere, which I like that as a filler. It looks like more delphinium. But there is larkspur in here too. Like this is larkspur. It has more of a, like a little ferny looking leaf on it. So yeah, and then this next row over here, skip over, is the next 2 rows actually are, half of it is hellebores because I love hellebores. And so I have a bunch of those in here. There's some sage in here. It's all looking good. Scabiosa there. More Buplorum. Buplorum is popping up everywhere. I've even been moving it in the front. It's places I didn't plant it or sprinkle it. Yarrow. The yarrow comes back reliable here. But I've talked about yarrow to death on my channel and my mixed feelings about it, but you know, I have to keep it tame. Yarrow is wild and crazy, and it pops up everywhere too. I'm not sure what this is. This is something I planted last year that I thought was an annual, and it apparently is a perennial because it all is coming back. And I don't think it was anything I liked. It's the sad part. So we'll see what that is. I did get some new perennials that I just planted this week, or within the last week. I got some Solomon Seal, which I had been searching for. I was so excited to get it. And at my nursery, they already, had it planted up. So usually it's a bare root, but it was already planted up in pots. So I got 3 of those, and then I got 3 white bleeding hearts because I couldn't find any bare roots. They were all sold out everywhere online. So my local nursery had the white bleeding hearts, which those make good cut flowers. So does Solomon Seal, makes a good filler. So, and more hellebores, lots of hellebores. And then this little row here, these tiny ones are new that I planted, I think, in the fall. And these are miniature size raspberries. And there are a couple of blueberries thrown in here too. And then down the middle, I have some type of cut flower that I planted last fall. I'm not sure which, but it's there and it's growing for sure. And then there are blueberries there in the back. These red cages have blueberries in them. Let me wrap this backyard up. I bought new strawberry plants and I put most of them in this container. I like strawberries in containers because of the runners. I can control it better. But you can see there's more hellebores. All these little cages like this, those are peonies. That one's a peony too. And then I put my Mary statue back out. I have lots of peonies. This is feverfew that came back from last year. But all of these little cages are peonies. I think I counted them and they were like 16 or something, close to that. There's a lot of them. But I'm not gonna bore you with the details of everything. This will take forever. I do want to show you this one hellebore because it's such a beautiful purple and it's different than most of the ones I have. Oh, that's pretty. More chives. Those come back every year. More blueberries here that looks like budding up. And then over here I have a combination of berries. I have gooseberries, I have currants, and I have jostaberries. And I have some lingonberries over here too. I do use them all. Usually I make jam with those. Sometimes I'll eat the currants and gooseberries, but mostly I've been just making jam with them when I harvest, because it's just kind of one harvest, one and done. And then I have another hydrangea that I stuck over here. I'm not sure which one. And then more chives. And then there are 2, is it Nandina? I think it's Nandina. One is a lemon lime, supposedly, but maybe it's not getting enough sun. And then one was like red. So that's what is going on back here in the back. And like I said, the garden goes along the perimeter of my yard all the way till we get to the trees over there. I do have these 2 big raised beds which aren't planted yet, but I've been got them cleaned out. They're ready to go. I'm probably gonna plant annuals there, something that needs to be staked because it's easy to do it. It's easy to protect them and cover them if I need to in these. So I'll probably plant my Lysianthus that's coming, my little starts in there, which is what I did last year. All right. So, and then up here I have a clematis. It's just now coming up, but it's a purple one that I got from Walmart. I always say this. I got it from Walmart for like $3.50, but that thing gets huge and beautiful, big purple flowers. All right, so I'm gonna go to the front now. All right, I'm gonna try to do this quickly. I'll be back in the front, of course, because the front is more of the landscape garden. So it's prettier. But I'll give you a quick update. I mean, I tell you, sometimes it doesn't look like I did a lot, but I have been working. I have done a lot so far this season. I removed all these brick borders around the edges and dug them out, so I got sharp, clean edges. I don't know if you can see that, but those are nice, sharp edges now. This side is done. This side I have dug out the border. I left bricks on the two sides. I left it on that side just so the neighbor doesn't mow into my garden because he has a riding mower. And then I do like brick along the driveway part, but I don't like it in the front or on the grassy sides really anymore, because what happens is eventually the grass seems to grow up under it or something and get into the beds. So that's why it's just easier for me to keep a clean line if there's nothing in the way when I come with my shovel to clean it up. But I've pruned over here, I've mulched over here, so this side is all set. The only thing I may do is plant some annuals in like spots that are open. I got a lot of, as you can see, hyacinths over here. This dappled willow is looking glorious. Not sure what that is, but it's budded up, whatever it is. I can tell you what this one is. Variegated Wagila is this one. It's budded up too. I got a couple of things to see them over here. This is a smoke bush, a purple one. Oh yeah, that's the yellow smoke bush. I have matching. There's a yellow smoke bush and a purple one, and they're both proven winners. There's another hydrangea there. There are some Shasta daisies that come back reliably every year, and I did start or took some cuttings from my rosemary and put those up here. I like planting things that are drought tolerant in this front border because, again, it's the furthest away from the water spigot, so it doesn't get watered as much as the other stuff does. All right, so along this line, look how clean that is. Oh, it's beautiful. There are a lot of big alliums here. These things you see popping up, they get really large. I can't remember the name, giant allium, gladiator allium, something like that, but there are several of them through here, so they're going to be these huge stalks with purple balls at the top. That's going to be great. And then this is the white twist rosebud or something like that it's called, but it has white flowers and it's a rosebud, and look at that, it's about to bloom. Beautiful. I just planted that like last year. But along here, this edge is alternating hydrangeas, limelight prime hydrangeas with little boxwoods, and so I did an alternating pattern all the way till you get to the back, and then that little curve is just boxwood on the outside. And then in here there is some kind of semicircle I made, and in the inside you can see there's a bunch of lavender, which will be beautiful and smell glorious. There's a lot of purples and pinks over here, and then there are roses on this outer half moon. Are just various little rose bushes. They're still very tiny, but they're pinks and whites. And then also a lot of little starts of things that I just scattered seed. Annuals that I had that I just scattered the seed. There's scabiosa over here. A lot of argyratum, I think is what it's called. It has a little purple ball flower on it. And what else? Straw flower. This is an arborvitae that I just added this past year. I like that color. It's that lime green color. Lots of daffodils are on this side as well, and they're at the end of their life, but there's a pocket of them. Here's another little conifer that I planted. It was so tiny. It was just like a little twig when I got it in the mail, and it survived the winter, so I'm very happy. I also have some edible, all roses are edible. I have some that are from proven winners that are made to be edible. I have 4 of those, and they actually taste really good and they're pretty, so I use them for cooking. More daffodils. These doubles are glorious. Look at these doubles. So daffodils come in many shades now of peaches and apricots and whites, not just that bright yellow. So I do love them as a cut flower because, like I said before, they're one of the first things blooming, and they last a long time in the vase. So yeah, this is a viburnum in the middle here. Over here is some astilbe that hasn't come up yet. There's a peony back there that's just starting. I think I've lost my artemisias. I had 3 of them. One was back there, and it was big last year. I kept cutting it back, but I don't see anything happening, so I don't know if it's going to come back this year. I moved my bench over here because it was sitting in the middle, but it was getting crowded over there now that everything's getting bigger. And I moved my little potted trees over here. There's a hydrangea in this tutor. That's still tiny. But yeah, my little evergreen pots are here. And then let's go. Sorry about my shadow. The sun is coming out. Let's go to the front first. My apple trees are budded up and they are starting to flower. I got lots of apples from these 3 trees last year. These are Kalamazoo apple trees. I got them from Stark Brothers, where I get almost all of my fruit trees. More daffodils mixed in here with hyacinths. I'm sorry about my filming. And no, I have not cleaned the sidewalk. I haven't blown it off because I'm still in the middle of mulching. I just did this section yesterday, but I took all the bricks out. I do usually like bricks by the concrete, but these plants were getting so big that they were pushing the bricks and it was just too crowded, so I decided to just move them out. I did just add some little, they look sickly, hopefully they bounce back. I did just add some little hostas that I had in pots over here. Hostas, I kind of have to protect them because I get a lot of bunnies and deer up here in my front yard, and they will eat hostas in a heartbeat. I got some ferns coming back. Lots of alliums are in this section. And then my pots just mostly have little pansies in them. And then that's a house plant that I just didn't want anymore, so I just plopped it out here. But I got these pots filled with mostly pansies, the boxwoods that I've had in there for a while. This is a clematis. It should be red. Hopefully that survives because I want to have it kind of wrap up this post is my idea. And then that dappled willow I cut off when I pruned it. I just took all the branches I cut off and stuck them down in here in this pot, and I'm going to see how many of them root, and then I'm going to use them to make a border on the other side of the house of shrubs. I think that will look nice because it's just the white wall of the house right now. So yeah, I came in and redug out all the borders, and then I had to pull up my automower line because one, it was broken somewhere and I couldn't find the brake because it was buried under the ground. But also with me moving the borders, I moved them out just a little bit to clean it up. I really need to redo that line because I would have hit it digging anyway. But you can see things are looking good here. The few tulips that came back from last year, the rabbits have eaten all the tops. You can see that. That's why I don't grow tulips up here anymore. Look at that. That's beautiful. But you can see this is what they do. They just eat all of it. There's a big hydrangea there. And these two are, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. It's a shrub. But I like them. I use those as cut flower fillers. And then over here, I think there's a lot of astilbe that has yet to come up. I am having a problem with these onions. I have to come out here and weed whack. Yeah, I don't know if it's chives or some kind of allium, some kind of something I grew for decorative purposes has reseeded itself everywhere over here on this pathway. So I'm just going to come and weed whack it all down. That's all I can do. All right, over here, I moved this arborvitae from a pot. It was this big ball one because it had been in the pot for a couple of years and it does not look good. So I'm hoping it bounces back because it was a unique shape. I really like it. And that's why I put it in the ground. More hyacinths. I did not think bunnies like hyacinths, but apparently they do. I thought they were poisonous for them because they ate some of them. They didn't eat many, but they just ate the tops of those off. They didn't mess with the daffodils though. So over here in this section, I got a new Mary statue. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, there are hydrangeas. There are roses. There are, as you can see, a few arborvitae. Those stay a nice bright gold, which I like. Yeah, that's what's over here. And then I did move this little red maple here because it wasn't dead yet, but it has not done anything. It has been looking like this, like a stick, for 2 years. I scratched the bark and it's still green, so it's still alive. It hasn't thrived anywhere I put it. I had it on the opposite side, then I put it in the front because I thought maybe it's not getting enough sun. So I've just put it here. This is my last go with it. And then I have a weeping red bud there, which is all budded up with beautiful purple flowers. And then I just planted some, what is this? Phlox. I just got some phlox from the nursery that I added in here. These are hydrangeas. And then these were a little beauty berry, I think it's called, bush. But it's not looking good either. I hope they didn't die because they had like little purple berries on them. They were really pretty. And then over here I got some brunera. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But it has a beautiful blue flower. I just planted this too. I mean, the foliage is a beautiful variegated like leaf, but this flower, I'm sure it's going to show up as purple. It always does. But it is actually blue, like blue. And I don't see many blue flowers. I don't know about you, but I rarely see blue flowers. So, but there's so much stuff over here that I can't even go over all of it. This video will take an hour and a half. But there's my lemony lace. Is it elderberry? It's one that doesn't get berries, and that's a proven winners. And then this is my cotton candy maple, which has beautiful pink and green and white variegated leaves on it. This Bosnian pine I love so much. It is getting big. Oh my god, it's so pretty. I love the structure. I love the needles. I love everything about it. I love that it's evergreen. I went and ordered another one, and then I put it over on that side. Yeah, lots of hydrangeas in here. It's like hydrangea row over here. And then I got barberries behind the hydrangeas, which I have mixed feelings about. They do get pretty. They turn pretty colors, but they are sharp. They got little stickers on them, so I don't mess with them too much. I've been spreading out this candy tuft, which I love here as a little ground cover in the front. And then I moved some things because I dug this out like last year and killed off the grass and all that stuff. So I moved some things over here, including a lilac I had and some other stuff. One of the things I had here died. I don't know what it was. But 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 different shrubs here, which are probably flowering shrubs that seem to be doing well. So I'm excited because they've never flowered, whatever they are. I got them as bare roots. And then over there I got some little boxwoods. My window boxes do have more pansies in them and hostas. And let's see, my other little planting with semi-raised bed is ready to go. I don't know what I'm going to plant in it yet, but it's ready to go. But you can see that everything's getting green. And then the other thing that I was excited about, of course, the fruit trees, because I always get excited about the fruit trees whenever they decide to give me anything. Now these two I have yet to ever get any fruit off of. They seem to have little buds on them. So these are my apricot and nectarcot trees. So I see a flower. So I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. These here are nut trees. I have 2 almond trees and 2 chestnut trees, and I ain't never got no fruit or nuts off of those either. But they do leaf out and they do look good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with those. There are 2 big oak leaf hydrangeas there that seem to be doing okay, and some more small shrubs. Now then this front, as you can see, I've dug it out in a nice sharp crisp line. I still have to prune and put, I did the pruning. I still have to put my mulch down. Lots of bupleurum. There is so much bupleurum that has reseeded itself here that it's amazing. I didn't even have to plant any at all this year, which is cool with me. Now over here, this cherry blossom tree is in bud. It's about to bloom. I'm very excited because that's the tallest it's ever been. Now what I did here, I have 4 fruit trees here, right? I have 2 apple trees and 2 pear trees. And what I did was I dug a line from the tree to the bed. And I am ultimately connecting the whole thing together. But I have 4 more trees coming, fruit trees, and I'm going to plant them in these spots. So there will be a series of 8 trees here, and it will kind of finally all blend in together, which was my ultimate goal, was eventually to connect the trees to the garden bed. So that's what I'm doing. Another reason I had to remove my mower line, because I was digging all this up, and I'm going to make this an island, so the mower just goes around the outside of this whole thing. Another tree that's flowering is, this is a peach tree. Look at that. Now, I've gotten lots of peaches. Last year, not too many, because the flowers froze. We had a late freeze. The year before that, I got a bunch of them, like a bushel or something. That one, this sun is so bright. This is horrible. This one has flowers all over it, like literally all over it. This one's gonna have a lot of peaches if we don't have a freeze. That one has a lot of flowers all over it. The only one that hasn't flowered, and you turn around slowly, is this one. This is a peach tree as well, but it's all leafed out, but I don't see no flowers. So, I don't know. I gotta reject this. Leave that for a second. Yeah, I don't see any flowers on that one. And this is the, oh shoot, why am I forgetting the name? But it has bright yellow flowers, and it's an early spring bloomer, and it makes a good cut flower filler. I can't even think of the name of it. I have several of them too. And then I have a red twig dogwood back there that is just pretty because it's red. Here's my other little Bosnian pine. So I just planted that like within the last month. So the pear trees, they're doing better now that I got rid of that big maple, because it was not letting a lot of sun come over here. So it looks pretty good. I have yet to ever see those flower or get any fruit off of them. And these 2 apple trees get more sun, so they're much bigger, but I don't think I've ever seen them flower either. So I hope flowers are coming, because I would like an apple. Now these trees, sometimes I have to wrap them with chicken wire around, like do a big circle, which doesn't look the best, but the deer eat the leaves off of them. They come over here and they will eat every leaf off the doggone tree. But the trees are getting bigger, and I do keep them pruned so they're a height that I can reach, but everything is looking great. Everything is waking up, and I want to do this video because 2 weeks, this will be a whole different scene. A week from now, it'll probably be a whole different scene. So I wanted to get it captured on video. These videos are, mostly to preserve my garden, the development of it over the years. In this front row, I have all mums that keep coming back, luckily. And I'm happy about that because they make a great cut flower. But yeah, here you can see the buds on the rosebud. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So everything is looking pretty good for the start of the season. I am very happy with what's going on here in my garden in zone 6A. So that's all I got for today. I will be back in a week or so with an update on everything. Until then, bye bye.